Good evening, everybody. Today I'm going to present to you some examples of how we can use business visuals to more effectively update our hospital website so it is more attractive to the viewers that visit it. While we go through this presentation, I'm going to talk about visual organization, visual simplicity, visual interactivity, the use of charts and graphs, and also the use of images on a website to attract the viewers that we want to attract. Additionally, I'm going to show you some examples from current websites for ideas that we can use with the new website that we're going to be creating. Okay, so first we're going to talk about visual simplicity. So when we talk about simplicity of a website, it's important for us to think of who our target audience is. So what we want to portray to our patients or potential clients that visit our website. And I want to highlight a couple of concepts from our Module 6 information because it really helps explain specific reasons for creating a simple website, as well as where to focus on for a medical website, which we're creating. So website visual communication is extremely strategic. People surf the internet at such high speeds, a website has to visually attract the viewer's eye instantaneously. Not only that, it needs to use visuals that attract the right target audience. So that's very important. So specifically, a medical facility may wish to consider a website homepage that has clean, straight lines, open white spaces, and perhaps some blue coloring. The clean straight lines appeal to patients who are already tense from illness or looking for a clean facility. So the white symbolizes that. And second, it may benefit to use the colors such as blue because it represents a strong, safe, and calming response with our viewers. So when we look at the simplicity, and we'll go out to the website in the next slide here, but when we look at the simplicity, you have very open white space. We have some blue highlights underneath the Mayo Clinic logo there. Just clean lines across the top. Just a very simple, clean space, simple place for our potential clients and patients to view. Okay, so next we're going to talk about visual organization. Now, visual organization, specifically around visual organization, we're going to focus on the laws of perceptual organization. So Robert Landa, who's a visual and graphic design specialist, highlights the laws of perceptual organization in our textbook. And the three areas that he highlights specifically compared to Gestalt's principles um, of perceptual organization are similarity, proximity, and continuity. So similarity, like elements, those that share characteristics are perceived as belonging together. Elements can share likeness in shape, texture, color, or direction. Proximity is elements being near to each other in spatial proximity and perceived as belonging together. And lastly, continuity, procedural, perceived visual paths or connections among parts. Elements that appear as a continuation of previous elements are perceived as linked, creating an impression of movement. So I want to highlight those three areas on this screenshot of Mayo Clinic website. So first, similarity. So when we look on the screen here, we have the four blue boxes: appointments, find a doctor, patient and visitor guide, contact us. So square, 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 similar text, similar shades of blue. Once again, referencing the blue because that's an important calming, strengthening color to be used. We talk about proximity. We look at the boxes all being spaced proximally next to each other. And then across the top headers, we have patient care, health and information, department centers, research, education for medical professionals, products and services, and giving to Mayo Clinic. Those are all evenly spaced and proximally spaced next to each other. And lastly, the continuity. So we have this continuous loop of those boxes of squares. So we want to find a doctor, we have a patient and visitor guide, we can contact the hospital, we can set an appointments. Across the top of the headers, once again, we have patient care and health info, departments and centers are just lines to the right, just as if we're reading it. So the similarity, proximity, and continuity are three important parts of visual organization, which tie into the laws of perceptual organization by Gestalt, Once again, that is highlighted by Robert Landa, who's a graphic design specialist. All right, so for our next slide, we're going to talk about visual interactivity, and I'm going to once again highlight the headers across the top. You can see the screenshot on the screen in front of us, but I'm actually going to go out to the Mayo Clinic website that I'm using an example for what we can have our website look like, just to show you how interactive these are. So I'm going to minimize the size of this quick so we can take the whole website in. So I really want to highlight the interactive tools that are on this website, such as pop-ups and lines. So as we highlight under each of these headers, um, sorry about that, there we go. You can see each header brings up more information. So underneath the patient care and health info, we have all these different subjects. Under departments and centers, same thing. Research, education for medical professionals, products and services, and then it'll give to the Mayo Clinic. Once again, want to highlight how we see a lot of blue and white. And if we had all of these pop-ups showing up on this website right away, it's very difficult to navigate through. And like we highlighted from that quote from our Module 6 information, we want the website to be very simple, very simplistic, because we have a brief moment to grab our viewers' attention. So if we have all this text popping up right away, it's really busy. So instead, we get this nice clean space with the white and the blue. And even on the top right here, we can request an appointment, find a doctor, find a job, give now. All these interactive tools help and draw attention to these various areas where we can click on the website to get more information. So I'm going to hop back over to our presentation here. Sorry about that. And we're going to head on to our next slide. All right, on our next slide, we're going to talk about charts and graphs. So I have 3 different examples of charts and graphs that we might see within a medical website is the one that we're creating. And all 3 of these have to do with the cold and the flu and vaccinations. So I'm going to highlight a couple of characteristics that show the power of charts and graphs. And this is from eDraw website, which is talking about how to improve presentation with charts and graphs, whether it's through a presentation like this or through a website that they were creating. So the power of charts and graphs. It does 5 different things. 1, they simplify complex statistics and ideas. They help viewers get the point instantly, make information visually pleasing and engage our audience better, add interest to dry data, turn information communication into a fun process, and help analysts extract more useful information from data. So when we look through these 3 examples that we have in front of us, we can highlight the visual on the bottom there. Why do patients decline the flu shot? So we could easily have this in a text form, but it's not as visually enjoyable. So this is a very neat example of they're using like a vial that the flu shot would be given to you in. And then they're visually showing by a percent how full that vial is and why it happened. So misconceptions about vaccine risks are 44%. Patients never get the flu, 30%. Fear of needles, apathetic. Opposed to all vaccines, allergic. So the 6 bottles represent the 6 results, and the visual make it a lot more enjoyable, and they simplify the data instead of just getting one big blob of text, if you would. Now, speaking of text, if we go to the is it a cold or flu side, there is a lot of text in this, but the columns and how it breaks down and the nice visual of the germs behind the background of that still help break it down. So you have your columns of signs and symptoms, influenza, cold, and it just explains how the symptoms come along. So that's kind of a combination of text, but also more of a fun visual or graph. Lastly, the flu vaccine pilot success. So once again, this is taking numerical data and putting it in a fun way for our patients to see. So primary school age children, GP influenza-like illness consultation rates 94% or lower. We have the primary school age children that go to the hospital. Oops, sorry about that. And then the final there on adults. So once again, it's taking a lot of numerical data, but it's making a fun visual for our audience to view. So that's once again the 5 areas that we want to focus on when we're using graphs are that they simplify complex and ideas, help viewers get the point instantly and add internet to dry data, turn information communication into a fun process. Okay, so for our final slide, I'm once again going to go out to the website because I think it's important for us to highlight the way that visual images can target a specific audience within our website. So when you think about a medical website, the goal is for our patients to feel better, right? So our patients come to our website, they're looking for help, but we want to make them feel better. So it's important for the images to be reflective of that. So even in this first picture, we have a young child that's smiling. But what's really neat to see on this website, as we go across the headers again, is there's an image that correlates to the header. So we have patient care and health info. And look, you have a doctor with a child talking about quality care. They're both smiling, they're having a good time. Departments and centers. So meet the staff. So that directory of staff, but right there, it looks like some impressive technologically advanced glasses for surgery. We go to the next tab, we have research. Look, it's research and clinical trials. So you have somebody looking into a research tool to see it. Education, you can visit our schools, but it shows a teacher and a whiteboard explaining what's going on. For medical professionals, so if you're a doctor looking at this website, there's a doctor for you to look at. And then Giving to Mayo Clinic, just a little graphic of help transform the future of healthcare. So once again, the goal of visual images are to portray what people are looking for when they visit our website, and that is to feel better, get better, and leave the hospital. So that concludes our highlights around the website that we're looking at creating for you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Have a great rest of your day.